This was the last one that I'd sort of got on my brain to do these guys here, really. So I don't need that. In fact, actually, leave it there because then I can read what it is while I'm pointing to the other side of it.
Awesome.
Oh, we do have these ones as well, which I haven't planned for yet, but we can do something like those. So this is how to simplify complex things. So if we start with that, because that's a really good idea of that. And sometimes it's quite important if you might have different languages to make sure you store things, and this applies to all sorts of stuff. This is an example of how to make it sort of a bit more fun. Potentially this one I could demonstrate as a condensing. Do I go on to these or not really, or is that probably 1, 2, 3, 4 is enough?
I'd say 4 is definitely enough.
Do I do 3? Is 3 better? Do I focus on that one and that one, or do I do the 4?
What I'd say is possibly don't do that top one just because
I can do that as a separate one.
Smaller, it'll be a lot harder for it to be.
Well, I can describe this one with that sort of idea, can't I? Yes.
Yeah.
So are those are in the frame, or they're okay?
They're not in frame at all.
Okay. So this is all about trying to take complex ideas and try to make them a little bit simpler. Okay. Just wanted to tell you one thing about, I'm going to start again. I forgot what I was doing.
It's fine.
Complex designs, or rather, starting again. Complex ideas are, by their inherent sort of nature, complex. And with everybody's attention spans being so small, they're kind of lost on most of your customers. But your businesses have a lot of complex things you want to describe. So there's a really good way to simplify them so that people understand and get engaged by it. And just a lovely example that we've got is a very, very simple one. Now, when I was little, I was very confused by this sort of thing. But there, and there are the same when you say them. And that's really confusing. But a nice, easy way to sort of describe it using design is there. It's all about people. It's got a person in it. There is all about where you're going, about how they sort of get to places. And there, with an apostrophe, is just hiding the letter. It's just abbreviating something. So there's an A in the apostrophe saying that they are. And it's just a lovely way of describing how that can work using design. Another one that I wanted to sort of show you is, it was for a solicitor that we worked with. Now, this looks like sort of snakes and ladders, which is weird, right? Because what they were trying to describe is how small claims court works, and it is really complicated. Now, the unfortunate thing of getting through small claims court is you're going to be stressed. You are worried about what's going on, and they were trying to describe, when we were chatting through and going through the strategy of how all this might work, how there are ladders to shorten your route to get your money back. But there are also pitfalls where you might go back down the chain if you don't do things right. And we managed to condense a really thick bundle of sort of papers that were dry and in legalese into something that was a bit more engaging, a bit more approachable and a bit more understandable, but also showed the pitfalls and the benefits of using somebody that knows that game so you can shorten your journey to getting your money back. And it worked fantastic, and we did a whole range of them in a similar sort of vein using games and all the rest of it. But the last example I was just going to show you was a very quick one of how this particular example is all about how to store tyres correctly. Now, these were posters that would go up into sort of tyre shops and into sort of garages around the world where they don't care. They're arguably sort of disdainful of the fact that they're being told to do anything. So we tried to make it bright and engaging, but it also were very aware that there were a whole raft of education levels and a whole raft of sort of communication methods with different languages and things like this. So we had to make it into a very easy to understand infographic that could get scaled up to use on posters. It was also sent out in a whole raft of sort of documentation as well. But it just takes a whole raft of very dry text, puts it into a visual way that is really easy to understand. And it's a very powerful tool for you to engage with your clients and to get them to understand why you're so great, or the pitfalls of using somebody else, and basically a lovely way for you to get more business. If that's of any interest, if it sort of sparks any sort of ideas in you and you just want to have a chat how you could do the same for your business, pick up the phone and yeah, we're here to chat through what could work for the same for you. Lovely, have a great day. Ta-ta.